stuff as opposed to her newer stuff. Personally, I think when she was making country music, that was her bread and butter. She did that really, really good. Her pop stuff, I don't really care for. Not that some of it isn't good, it's just, it's less genuine. It's more like shallow and surface level, which, oh my god, I sound like such a hater right now. This is not a hate video. I'm actually gonna be defending Taylor Swift, actually, if you can believe that. I do not hate Taylor Swift, okay? I don't hate her. I don't hate anybody, but anyway, so, I'm not particularly fond of her politics. And then of course there's the fact that she might be a satanist, which, if you don't know, I don't roll that way. I believe in God. I am a follower of God. At least I try to be. You know, I remember years ago there was this conspiracy theory about Taylor Swift. This is like the early 2000s. Yeah, like the early 2000s. And there was this, or there is this lady, and she's like named Zara or something, and she's a famous Satanist from like the 80s or something, and she literally looks so much like Taylor Swift. And I'm like, Taylor Swift could be a clone, or she could be like a descendant of this lady. Who knows? Genetics are wild like that. But also, do you guys know that they have a cloning machine, right? Like, they can actually clone people and like animals and stuff. Supposedly they shut it down in the 90s, but just because they said they did that doesn't mean that they did, you know. And they do have secret like bases around the country, like Area 51. There's something there. So anyway, yeah, she could be a clone. All I'm gonna say is that the truth is stranger than fiction. So, knowing what I know about this world, and knowing what I know about like Holly Weird, and all this other stuff, it's really not that far-fetched. Like, it just isn't. But that's not the purpose of today's video, so let's get into it. So, despite the politics and despite the fact that she might be a Satanist, despite that stuff, I don't understand why Taylor Swift gets as much hate as she does. I really don't get it, because maybe it's because she's like very popular now, you know, and sometimes when somebody is constantly being like pushed in the public sphere, like on the media and everything, and everyone's like sucking Taylor Swift's dick off, basically, you know, like it's just annoying, like, when everybody was talking about One Direction, or, Rest in Peace Liam Payne, or, like, Justin Bieber, like, it's just kind of annoying, you know, or at least I get annoyed at that stuff anyway. So, one of the criticisms that Taylor Swift gets, I mean, she gets a lot, but one of the criticisms that I hear is that people say she only writes breakup songs, which is not true at all. Like, I think people just want to complain. She does not only write breakup songs. Now, obviously, she does write a lot of, like, love type songs. I'm not denying that, okay? She's got a lot of songs. A lot of them are love songs, but they're not all love songs, and they're not all breakup songs. So, I wrote out a list of some of her, songs. These are, the more popular songs, and I wanted to read them off. So, the first song is obviously the song that, I think it was like her first, like, big song that, like, you know, this is when everybody started to learn about who Taylor Swift was, or at least I did. Love Story. Now, that's not a breakup song. It's about a girl and a boy, you know, being in love, and her, like, dreaming and fantasizing, and, like, very, like, Romeo Juliet, like, she wants him to ask for her hand in marriage, like, ask her father's permission, and I know it's very romantic, especially in today's world where people aren't very romantic. Next one, Blank Space. Now, this comes a little bit later in her career when she had already made the transition from country to pop. And it's not a love song necessarily. I mean, it's kind of about her being like a crazy girl, but that's because that's what the media was saying about her. And she's like, wow, this girl is crazy. The girls that they're talking about that they say is her, but like, whatever. She's like, this is such a character, let me play this out. And that's basically what Blank Space is. Look what you made me do. This is not a breakup song. It's not a love song at all. This is when she was having drama with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Now I understand that there's two sides to every story. I get that. But I really don't like Kim Kardashian, and I'm not being biased here. I just remember, like, in the recording, Taylor Swift with stuff. So it was all very symbolic, and once you know what to look for, that was just like, I don't know, maybe I don't know how those like shows go, but why would she have a backup dress, and why would it be red? Like, it's just weird. I mean, regardless, Taylor Swift did not consent to do that in the song. that song makes me cry. It's basically about, you know, a girl and a guy together, and for whatever reason, maybe due to like insecurity or not being in the correct headspace, she pulls back and the relationship essentially ends, but it cuts her up inside, and she realized that all she wants is to be with him, and she feels like too much time has passed, and it's a really good song. This was also before she went to pop music. Safe and Sound. Now, this is a song that she did for the Hunger Games, and it's one of my favorite songs by her. It's completely different than all her other songs, and I think that she should further explore in this area, because I just, okay, maybe she went the pop route because that would get, you know, more money, more fame, that sort of a thing, but I think the sound that she created with Safe and Sound is so good. Like, she excels in that area, and I think it's just really unfortunate that she's in like the pop genre now, because it's not her, it doesn't fit. She doesn't just make breakup songs. She doesn't just do that, and you know, there are other artists that make a lot of love songs, a lot of like breakup songs. Like if you take like musicians from like the 1950s, they had a lot of love songs. Like, I compiled a list of some popular Buddy Holly songs. So, let me read some of them. It's so easy. It's so easy to fall in love. True Love Ways, my favorite song. Words of Love. Maybe Baby. Crying, Waiting, Hoping. Peggy Sue. You're the One. You're So Square. You Got Love. Raining in My Heart, another one of my favorites. So, when people are like, why does Taylor Swift only make breakup songs? Why does she do that? Blah, 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 blah. Well, she's not the only one that has ever done that. And two, I understand she's in her 30s now. You would think that there would be some sort of a evolution to her music, and not like it hasn't evolved, but like beyond the like lovey-dovey breakup stuff. Especially seeing now that she's in a more long-term relationship. I actually can't remember the last time with Taylor Swift. I mean, there was Cruel Summer, yeah. There's that song actually, but I would argue that I'm gonna sound like an asshole. I'm not particularly fond of a lot of the music that has been coming out nowadays. I can't really think of very many artists it takes a certain type of person and a certain type of personality to do that. And so, I kind of feel bad for people. I mean, maybe they don't even think about that before they go after their dreams, but it must just really suck, trying to find a person of quality in that life. And so, when people say, well, look at all these people that she's dated, well, maybe she just didn't find somebody of quality, I don't know. I'm not, I don't know, I'm just saying, you don't really know, and you would give men a pass for that. Like, I think it's all stupid, honestly. Might make a video on that whole thing, but, yeah. That's all I have for tonight's video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry, this video is kind of weird. I just wanted